when you hit 10K months, I'm going to be happy, or like, dude, I'm going to be set, or like, then it's like 50K and then 100K, then freaking million, you know, like you just keep pushing the bar. If you could pick a small town and just freaking crank that with some ad spend, with some proper systems, with like the right people in place, like you will take over territory after territory after territory.
It's all about systems and like great people. If you have great people, they can handle bad systems, but they also can like make good systems and make the output of that system crazy.
What was like the vision behind, I guess, 22-year-old Mike then compared to 23-year-old Mike now?
The vision is like still the same, but it's definitely.
What's going on, guys? Lucas Jensen here, back with the Forward Thinking Podcast. Today, I got one of our clients, one of our 7-figure painting business clients, who's an absolute crusher, Mike Johnson from Wisconsin Painting. If you don't know Wisconsin, it's Wisconsin and Minnesota. He's kind of like in that intersection there in between the two areas. So he called it Wisconsin Painting, and Mike is an absolute beast. He works with a couple, people in our network like Mike Hickman from Painter Growth. And we actually got introduced from Tanner Mullen's Contractor Impact last July. And we've been working with Mike for, man, it's got to be 12 months now, hey?
Yeah, dude, it's probably been a little over a year. I mean, it's been.
Rick, man, happy 1 year. I love it.
But it risked me, bro.
I love it, dude. So, Mike, give yourself an introduction, dude. Let everyone know, like, who you are, what you built, why you got started, and kind of how you ended up here today.
Yeah. So my name is Mike Johnson. I own Wisconsin Painting. Lucas gave a great intro, but yeah, 23-year-old. I got in the trade space, just kind of thrown into it. Background in finance through college, and I just kind of found my way into like a great opportunity, and really just continue to like just grow our company, provide value to others, and really just kind of give that freedom of like what people want and just find a niche that there's a desire of growing. So, yeah.
I love it, dude. So 23 years old, how'd you get started in the painting space?
Dude, yeah. So I got in the space actually, I think probably how so many other people get started in it. And maybe not from that family generation, but like it's a very easy skill to like just pick up. It's not a super high skill like need. So I was always the kid in my neighborhood that would like wheel out the garbage cans, entrepreneurial background. I was selling beef sticks for my baseball team. And I had neighbors that had like good money. I grew up, in a good position. But even like a better one where like my parents made me work hard. So that is like really kind of what shaped me. But I was just standing next to my neighbors. I was busy playing sports in the summer, and that kind of forced me to, okay, I'd rather make $500 a day for paint for my neighbors than maybe going to get like a job and making $8-9 an hour. So yeah, that's how I dove in. Freshman year of college, got into college, student athlete. And with that, I kind of was always like, great, I'm gonna go the finance route. I saw like how some of my family has gone on that path and had success. So, I took an internship actually for like one of those franchise, painting franchise, in America, like those college programs. So College Works Painting. Had a great year there. I kind of like saw that there was actually like a huge opportunity in the trades. And that year, I did very well. I kind of found like, I like finance, I like numbers, I like math, but I like sales, man. I like people. So, and that just kind of coupled with like, I grew up with a lot of great leaders. So, I played a lot of sports, a lot of great coaches, friends, family, like just had a lot of really great people that like showed me, how to lead others and how to like, have an impact. And that allowed me to kind of like couple that with sales and kind of like just start kind of figuring out like my avatar, like who I am. So that year happened. I did well. And I was like, okay, I could do this. Like I could do this. There were just some things that like I didn't want to go back with that company with. And they were like, hey, we want you to come do this. And I was like, I don't know. It's pretty cutthroat in those internship programs. So I had a great time, but I was like, like what should I do? And my parents, like both in education and, like totally could have been like, you shouldn't start your own business. Everyone was kind of like in my family, like, yeah, you should go do this. Like you could make a lot of money. So, and I was just kind of looking at like, I want to have the freedom to do it. And like, I could do the same thing. And so basically that was my summer job, man, is I would travel all across Wisconsin and Minnesota like no marketing, man. Like I learned Facebook ads, during then, but I was literally driving like 2 hours to do a job from job of me and like a couple buddies. And that was, like every summer, every year gets better. But like that was like so legit. Like I loved it, yeah, getting to go do jobs and go in a cabin and, go stand it or go paint it or, do a job and, like Minnetonka, which is west suburb of the cities, drive 2 hours to a cabin in Wisconsin and go paint that next all summer. So that was basically what I did every summer while I was in college. Basically for 2 years, I graduated early. At that point, I moved down to Fort Lauderdale and still had the business moving up top, but I kind of was like, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I had a really great opportunity to go work with some, really great people, kind of actually in the marketing space online, with kind of some of their startups. And I just felt like I had to do it. And it was the scary decision. And I was so grateful to do that. But I realized like that was what I thought I should do. And it wasn't like what was maybe like, the truth of like, I had to do the decision for myself, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically went down there, still the company up top in the Midwest. And I lasted like 4 months and I was like, okay, this isn't for me. I'm going to go paint a shit ton of houses and buildings. I'm going to do that, dude. So, moved back up here and I basically have done that for like the last 2 years here. And dude, yeah, it's been awesome. We've grown a lot and I've gained a lot of people on my team and I've just learned so much. I think that's my biggest thing. It's like I've just had so much growth, like personally, but also like with other people. So, yeah, that's kind of like long story short of how I got into the space, dude. But yeah,
I love it, dude. Yeah, I mean, look, it's the painting space is either filled with like young, hungry killers or people that have been around for like 30, 40 years. I find like there's not too much in between. You know what I mean? So, man, I love it that you're one of those young, hungry killers, like 23 years old. What are you guys doing on revenue for 2025? Like, what are you projected for?
projected to do in 2025, like the 1.5, 1.6 mark. It's probably gonna exceed a little bit.
Incredible, dude. Incredible. Man, that's awesome. And look, I think when we initially started back in July 2024, you were hovering around what revenue mark?
So I was right around that, like 80 to 100K mark. But I would say I came into that with just, I was doing it all, man. And sales was the show. And, like, my production was not matching that. I was doing so much. We weren't super profitable like that first year. But that was kind of our mark. Gosh, yeah, we're right around that, like 750, 800K mark.
Love it, dude. So 750. So you basically doubled the business in the last 12 months. And dude, you freaking lit a fire in me the other day. You messaged me saying like, you're at this point in your business where you're presented with all this extra time and you've kind of like almost removed yourself from the business and it's continually growing, continue scaling. And you're just not like you're not on the tools. You're not really like in the nitty gritty of it. You're just like kind of behind the scenes, implementing and driving it forward. And you're like, man, like I don't know what to do with the time, right? Like, do I, there's different kind of avenues you can do when you remove yourself from a business. Like, is that what you anticipated happening? Like from when we obviously, got this kickstarted to like 12 months now, is that kind of what you anticipated? Or like, what was like the vision behind, I guess, 22-year-old Mike then compared to 23-year-old Mike now?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. I would say the vision is like still the same, but it's definitely morphed. And, we came into, hey, we want to dominate the Midwest in painting and do that at a great level. There's such a huge opportunity. With, like you said, you got average contractor, 62, 2-person company. And that's just been the focus of like, I saw this big demand and there's going to be an increasing lack of supply of it.
Yeah.
So when we look at like what that looked like is I did want to be at the point where I'm at now where like time freedom, like great, I can do what I want, but I've kind of realized like, I don't want time freedom, you know what I mean? So, I I think there's just a change of like what we're doing. Like I did envision being here, but I thought I'd be like, yeah, I think maybe you can relate to this, dude. I think a lot of people think I'm going to be happy when I get to this level. You know what I mean? Have you ever felt that?
Oh, dude, all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, when you hit 10K months, I'm gonna be happy, or like, dude, I'm gonna be set, or like, then it's like 50K, and then 100K, then freaking million. You know, like you just keep pushing the bar.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's this recurring battle that I feel like a lot of like hungry entrepreneurs kind of face, and the reason you're facing that is, dude, you keep moving the goalpost.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's something that like I'm like just keep doing is kind of like, hey, great. Like, oh, okay, we got to this level and like that's great. But like what's the next thing? And I've kind of like the last probably 2 months, yeah, 2 months has been like just the time of like, okay, great. Like what's the next push? Like what do I need to do to set us up to kind of be in that mark for, what do I need to feel fulfilled? You know what I mean? So my big thing that I've kind of realized is like, I don't want really as much time freedom, but like I want the ability to give freedom to people that I care about in my company and people I care about, my family or personally. And, give them those opportunities that like we say our company's about, like we're growing, we're striving to grow. Um, and we're trying to basically get 1% better every day and allow them to have those opportunities to grow up and chase what their vision of freedom is. Because right now, my vision of freedom is just like, great, we just want to grow and make more money and service as many people as we can and provide as many great jobs as we can to people that want to come work at an amazing place. So,
Right.
right. I think that the vision hasn't really changed. Just I've gotten a little bit different clarity of what that looks like at the 7-figure level as we progress to the 8-figure level.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And what's like that? What's that vision look like for you? Because like, dude, I'm the same way, man. Like one of my very first mentors, Cormac, his name was. He had like a 7-figure agency, and he sold it, right? But he sold it at a point where he was building up a second business, which was like coaching and consulting and things like that. And then he sold his agency, and I was like, man, like I don't know what the fuck I would do if I sold. Like I know myself, and I'd drive myself crazy because I'm like build, 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 and I'm so much like freaking high energy that, dude, I would not be able just to like retire. You know what I mean? Like, hey, real quick, before we get back into the video, if you are running a painting, an epoxy, or a concrete coating business, and you're saying to yourself right now, Lucas, I am done playing it small. Lucas, I am hungry and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to scale my business this year, then listen up. If you want my team and I to help you fix that, if you want more qualified leads into your sales pipeline, if you want more high intent appointments into your sales calendar, and if you want more high ticket jobs, shoot me a quick text at 602-833-5079, and I will personally reach out and set up a game plan to help you turn your yearly revenue into your monthly revenue and help you dominate and scale your business right now. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to helping you scale your business this year. Let's go. I mean, like, I don't think I would ever be able to retire. Like, I have to build, I have to like do something even like one day a week. You know what I mean? Just like, otherwise, dude, I drive myself crazy. I drive my family crazy. Like I gotta move. You know what I mean? I can't stay static. And I think you're the same person. Like I think that's a lot into like the athletes, right? Like the hungry business owners are, a lot of those were like athletes in the past, and they have that competitiveness in them, but they also have that like inability just to stay that where exactly they are. Like you always got to move the needle, do something, build something, create something. Like you always got to kind of move the needle. And I'm curious to see like where your headspace is at. Like what's the vision from 23-year-old Mike now going to 24, going to 30 years old? Like what's the vision behind that?
That's kind of what I've been working on, dude, the last like I'd probably say 2 months is like, what do we want to do now? And I kind of hit on it as like that big picture is just like, okay, great. Like we got a great team in place, internally working with externally, like companies like yourself. We want to just provide to continue what we're doing and have people like want to hop on our train and provide those opportunities in terms of a job, but also as a client. So I kind of like had some time to think about this, and I've just, you were a sounding board. I probably talked to like, 10 different coaches that I've had. I've done a little bit of the consulting stuff, like helping coaching people out, and that's great. Like I've enjoyed a little bit of that. But I was just like, I don't want time freedom, dude. Like Right now I don't. And I kind of was speaking to another guy in the space, and I was like, when I talk about freedom, what that means to like me, it's like, I want to make more money. And like, I had another coach this year talked about like, you don't have to justify, like what you're doing or the choices you make as much. Like, and it was just like, I want to make more money to provide freedom to others, whatever that looks like. If our company just grows, it's going to provide those things to others. And that's what I'm about. And okay, great. How can we make more money? And it's simple, man. It's just like, grow. Like, great, awesome. So we're going to try to double the company next year. We're going to expand to a second location is the plan right now. And we're just kind of like starting to put those things in place. And it's not even like any of the actions are different that I've been doing. Like my day right now is very much like, all right, how can I make everyone else's job easier? And what's the biggest bottleneck? And basically I'm just documenting everything, having other people document everything they do so that we're, basically able to expand in a way that is very easy, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
By doing that, we'll just provide more positions for other people to come into our company, and also for the people that have been around in leadership to continue to grow. Like, A players want to grow. They came to our company with a big vision. Like, we're going to continue doing that. Yeah. So that's kind of the plan, man.
I love it.
Now,
So grow the current one, double the size, plus add on a different location and grow that one.
yeah, that's kind of like what we're thinking about. Like, okay, logistically, where is that second location look like? What's the makeup of that? Do we have an actual brick and mortar business? Okay, are we not, or is it satellite location? What's actual the loadout? We think of where our market is right now. We're like, okay, great. Like, we certainly could grow, but is it really going to be able to sustain the growth that we want to have? We'll see. I think I'm trying to figure out what's that business model look like. Like, how could we do it differently? Because a lot of companies go, they get to that 1.5 mark and then they're like, we have to double. Like, there's a lot of gray area in that like 2.2, 2.5, just with like the leadership cap. And I really want to make sure that like we protect that and really have a smooth operation of how is this going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Totally, dude. Totally. Man, I've talked to a few clients who like they want to open up a new location or a new service to their current location or just kind of just expand their current service area. And I think those are kind of the three ways to build the business even bigger. If you were to look at a new location, I would say, dude, go somewhere like a small town. Like pick a small town where it's like not many competitors, and just freaking dominate that market. Because if you go to a place like Miami or like Boston or Denver, where there's just like so many people, dude, you're also competing with so many competitors, right? So it's like if you could pick a small town and just freaking crank that with some ad spend, with some proper systems, with like the right people in place, like you will take over territory after territory after territory. Like I think the money is in the little suburbs kind of around the big towns. That's what I see.
Yeah. So could you quantify like a small town to you?
Yeah. I would say between 200 to 400,000 people.
Sure.
Something around there. I think like those are like the little money pits. Like you're not going to build a $10 million business there, but you'll build like multiple 1 million, 2 million, $3 million businesses like in those little kind of suburbs around. I think that's where all the money is. And like, rule of thumb is like $1,000 for every 100,000 audience size. Like that's kind of what we go with FMM. If someone has like a $500,000 audience size, you could spend $1,000 for that, but you can't spend $5,000 for 100,000 audience size because it's like you're gonna hit those people way too quick and they're gonna get kind of tapped out. So I would do two to 400,000 people. Ideally, like average age is like 35 plus, that kind of range. You don't want like young town, like like young university towns and things like that. Like just go like heavy suburbs. Like that is where the friggin' money is.
Yeah, love it. Just for reference, know that, um, the Minneapolis area probably pretty well. You got some big dogs, you got Slavic, you got Jason Paris. Our location, like Eau Claire, there's about 120,000 people in our radius. So like that's kind of why I feel like we've seen this growth so like quickly, I'd say relatively. It's just because we've really like dominated that niche. And now it's like we actually do already service about an hour away. And it's just like, which spot do we really focus on, an hour and a half away from here? Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I guess if you thought, would you go, hey, closer to the cities, or would you go like another spot that's like a target location just like here, where it's a little more, I would say a little more rural. Like they got about 100,000 people, 120,000 people. Because we already service these areas too, which is the cool part, but we just don't have to drive too much.
Yeah, well, dude, if you think about the rural areas, the cost of living is usually less, which means they have a little bit more liquid capital as well, right? And like if you're like friggin' deep in a city, your rent or your mortgage is higher. All the information, like all the school taxes, property taxes, all that stuff is also higher. Like you have less kind of capital expenditure. Plus, you're in an area with much more competitors, so it's a little bit more of like a kind of vicious buying cycle. Do you go to another area like Eau Claire? You can build the exact business you have there within the same, like probably similar time frame that you've done it, probably faster actually because you've already done it, and just kind of just keep repeating that on like towns that have like 200,000 people and just like build, 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 and just like keep taking little territories around because like the goal is to become the household name,
Yeah.
right? And if you have so many competitors, man, it is that much harder for you to become a household name because you're bidding against that many people, or they're presented with the same opportunities as you, right? If you are in a town that does not have that many people and that many freaking competitors, bro, that's like easy pickings right there.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
I think of it's a good insight. I think of like Tommy Mello, and he's got $100 million company, and they just moved to the Twin Cities, and just because like of that top of funnel just awareness, like I'm like, oh, I know that garage company. It's the number one garage door company in like America. So
yeah,
yeah, kind of do that.
240 million, 240, it's 240. Like it's nuts, right? It's freaking nuts. But like the way he went at it was just insane. Like I think at one point he had like 85 or 90 basically like requests to purchase other businesses, because that's how he did it. Was he instead of building businesses, he just bought them all over the freaking nation, just like boom, 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 and he had like 85 or 90 out at once, like one shot to buy. Like it's nuts, dude. And he just buys a business that they either have a name or they have the team, and then he just implements his systems in their marketing, and then it's just like the easy lever to pull. So, dude, I mean, there's so many options. If you're presented with a lot of time, there's so many options you could do, right? Like, personally, I'm big on, rather than opening different businesses, making the current one I have as big as possible, right? Like, if you can have, two glasses, right? Like, let's say you have these two glasses and you have the same amount of liquid. I'd rather have this one full than half and half, right? Like, I know you have the capacity to grow each, but I'd rather like make this one freaking overflow and as full as possible before even considering it. And I mean, that's just like your energy, that's your capacity, that's your team's effort. So, dude, if you're really freaking hungry, you could do like two options. You can add more services, increase the Wisconsin Soda lifetime value of the current clientele you have by adding concrete coating, by adding flooring, by adding freaking brick. I don't know, right? Like you can add more services to the current clients, and then you essentially double the sale or triple the sale by the like more services you add, or you could take the current service you have and just apply it in a different market.
What are your thoughts? Because that's a conversation I've had like so many times. It's just like, do we want to horizontally integrate one location, or do we want to vertically integrate multiple locations? You know what I mean?
I think I would rather be known for one thing in different industries, right? Like Facebook ads, right? Like we're not doing, all these different services like cold calling and yada, yada, yada for our clients, right? Like we're just doing one thing and we're so fucking dialed at that one thing. And now we're adding on different industries, right? Like epoxy and all that stuff. So it's like, it's an easier lift to do that. It definitely is. However, what is your main objective, right?
Well,
Is it to
provide a lot of jobs, man.
provide a lot of jobs, right? Okay. So our objective is to provide as much value for our current clients, right? And in that sense, I want our team, our clients to work with one marketing company and we provide them the value rather than having two retainers and working with two companies. My goal is to increase the value that our clients get from us. So that's why like we're looking to expand our services offer and yada yada yada, right? Compared to like for you, it's jobs, right? And that's a volume thing. I mean, you could do it in both ways. I don't think there's one right answer. I think it just depends on your capacity. I think it depends on the opportunity. But personally, dude, I would add on like concrete coating, bro. Like that, I think the industry is just booming and there already is much less competitors with that. And if you can like, because it's heavier upfront costs, right? Painting is like you just get a brush and some paint, like you're freaking good to go, right? Concrete coating, you have to buy the grinder and all this other stuff, which is a heavier upfront investment. So there's already right off the bat less competitors. Plus, you can kind of slim down on marketing because now you could increase the LTV of each client that you're selling to by adding on this and adding on that and adding on that, right? So I would add more services to the current market.
Well, like concrete coating. I've actually had a couple companies come and say, "Hey, we'd love for you to basically be the front, the pretty face, pretty brand, and then sell and sub out to them." Or I've had a couple companies come and say, "Hey," but my focus right now is just like do more of what works. Like there's more systems that have to come into place, but being able to like do that is like so huge. Like the concrete coatings is like the easiest. Like it's sold in the same stores, same product is wet.
Dude, same buying cycles, same, average ticket value. It's just higher profit, right? It's if you can do that, we have one of our clients that's doing that. He has a competitor in his area who does he does painting and the competitor does concrete coating. Okay. Now he's like, dude, I'm kicking off concrete coating, and I already told the guy because they're friends. He's like, I already told the guy, and the guy's like was scared. So he's like, man, like you're to freaking take all the jobs because he's super good at sales. So he actually worked out what you just said with that company. That was kind of like the dominating factor. They're now the sub team for this guy who's selling the jobs, doing all the marketing, and then just setting it off to the subcontractors. So if you can do that too, dude, I mean, that's like a much easier lift. You don't have to buy the things. You don't have to create SOPs because now it's a sub team. You're more reliant on them because like if they leave, like then what? But for the time being, dude, if you can get a solid sub team who is really good at what they do, but they just suck at selling or they suck at marketing, like you could just plug and play and grow.
Yeah. My thoughts on that, I love it. I'm just like, is that going to distract us? Is that like the best way to get to the goal? Is it something that is going to like assist us in getting to the goal? And just like, are we going to have our brain protected? And is it something that's like going to drain us in terms of energy? But it's something that has been like a thought for our company for a little while.
Yeah, dude, and you're always gonna kind of have those like what ifs, right? But dude, knowing you and like I see the hunger, I see the ambition, I see your drive. I think whichever way you choose, whether that's a new location or adding a service to the current location, I think you're gonna freaking crush it because I know that you get it, you want it, you have the capacity, and it's just kind of like you just need to kind of narrow your focus and just sprint through the wall that like you're like, okay, we're breaking down this market. Boom. Hey, real quick, before we get back into the video, if you are running a painting, an epoxy, or a concrete coating business and you're saying to yourself right now, Lucas, I am done playing it small. Lucas, I am hungry and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to scale my business this year, then listen up. If you want my team and I to help you fix that, if you want more qualified leads into your sales pipeline, if you want more high intent appointments into your sales calendar, and if you want more high ticket jobs, shoot me a quick text at 602-833-5079 and I will personally reach out and set up a game plan to help you turn your yearly revenue into your monthly revenue and help you dominate and scale your business right now. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I appreciate you tuning in and I look forward to helping you scale your business this year. Let's go. I think there's a lot of opportunity for you. And I think that, like I said, like you get it, you want it, you're hungry, you have the capacity to do it. It's just, you just kind of need that alignment on like, what are we doing? Like, what is the goal for Wisconsoda painting? Is it Wisconsoda painting location X, Y, Z, or is it Wisconsoda home services, right? Like, I know you mentioned home services at the start. So let me ask you, dude, like which one are you leaning towards?
I think it's paint for the next decade, and then that like adjustment in 10 years would just be crazy. So like the gory now is just make as much money as possible.
Yeah. Love it, dude. Love it. So what's the 10-year target for you?
I've thought about this. I don't know if it's 10 years, but if we doubled every year for 10 years, like a location every, right? I think that's kind of the goal. So location every year for 10 years. So locations, probably the goal. I bet you the goal in 10 years would be what? Average location, 1.5 million, 10 years, 15 million in 10 years. Or if we doubled every year, I mean, that would be a lot more. What would doubling every year for 10 years be? That would be 2 to 4. That'd be nuts.
It would be nice, but dude, it's definitely doable. I think there's, man, I know a company personally, one single location, they do 100 million a year.
And just paint.
Like, pardon?
And just in what? What do they do?
Industrial, commercial, and residential painting.
Hmm.
Yeah. They're in like New York though. So like they're huge, right? Huge opportunity. And they're literally the household name for like industrial painting down there. So it's like one job's like 250 million sometimes, like freaking nuts. You know what I mean? But like, I think 50 million for multiple locations is extremely doable. I love the multi-location, kind of framework of the business model. So would you go more like you'd be opening it, then you'd kind of have someone running it there, or would you find someone to buy into Wisconsin Soda Painting and go like more franchise model?
Yeah, this is a question. I got asked about a year ago, and it was like once you get to in the paint space, once you get to I think it was 10 million, it makes sense to switch to the franchise model. So would probably go to the franchise model at that point. And that multiple's just higher if we ever wanted to sell.
Yeah, I love it, dude. So, brother, I got a couple last questions here for you. You mentioned mentors at the start of the call. Who are your top 3 mentors right now?
Top 3. I would say my number one is number one in terms of business. It's probably like it's Mike or Hipman's company. It's Mike / that whole team. Like that, I would just say like that company has been huge. Just been with me since I was at college, bro. Like I was working with them. I'd also say another person that like I really look up to, Hunter Bailu, roofing.com. He was the one that really showed me how to basically talk about vision, like really focus on that. So he's huge. Maybe not like super common with your listeners, but he's great. And then third one, I would say is Joel Mercado. Dog. Let's go, dude. I never worked with him personally, which is kind of crazy, but like I hop on with his calls. He helps me out a lot. I think he really helped me out probably about 9 months ago, just like, where I like was kind of looking for some things at that level. So those are probably my big 3, man.
I love it, dude. Well, dude, I know Joel owns multiple businesses in multiple locations. So if like that's the push for you, you definitely should like, follow up with the opportunity about working with him. I think that, having his inputs and his ideas and recognizing like where he made the mistakes and kind of avoiding those mistakes for yourself is just going to be huge. Hunter, I know Hunter, he's been helping me with PaintCon. He owns something similar in the roofing industry. He's a freaking beast, dude. I love Hunter. And then, obviously Mike as well, dude. His systems are dialed. He's a great guy overall. And, yeah, man, you're in a good circle. You're in a great circle. So let me ask you, dude, and this is the last question. I want you to think of this like real hard. All right. So 23-year-old Mike, if you had to start from ground zero, like right now, and all you can give yourself is one single piece of advice, what would it be to start this over and build it again?
A players want to be with A players, and you can learn the systems yourself, or you can find the A players to make the systems, like something like that. I would go along. I don't know how I'd best like say that. But I think it's all about systems and like great people. If you have great people, they can handle bad systems, but they also can like make good systems. and they make the output of that system crazy, but if you have, really shitty systems and shitty people, nothing's going to happen. You have shitty system, or you have great systems but not great people. Like you can get away with it, but when you're starting out, it's really important to have great people.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And A players attract other A players, right? So if you have an A player, but you fill the rest of the roster up with B players, you're more than likely to lose that A player than you are to lose those B players, because they want some place where they feel like they can grow. And the A player, of course, wants that too, right? If they're an A player, they likely, dude, A players don't want to be the only A player or the top A player. They want people ahead of them that can like help them like grow. You know what I mean? Like similar in sports, dude. It's like you'll very likely have someone who's like a freaking top performer in a lower rank in that sport. They want to be with like they want to be the worst player on the team, even though they're an A player, right? And then when they're coming from that, like they'll be able to help build those systems, like exactly what you were saying, right? They're A players. They've usually worked at other companies that are like A teams, and they can bring those systems over to build it for you, right? So, yeah, dude, I think it's in the people, in the systems, 100%.
Yeah.
Love that, bro.
I want to change it. I want to say you got to have a vision that's going to attract A players. That's what I was, because you're not going to get your A players if you just, don't have that like A plus vision. A players want a mission. They don't want a job.
Oof, that's a good one. I like it. Dude. Well, Mike, brother, I appreciate you. Congratulations on everything, man. It's insane to see like your growth over the last year. I can't wait to see, dude, like 10 years, 50 mil. I know you got it in the friggin' bag, man. I know you got the resources, you got the network, and you got the freaking capacity to make it work. And I think it's just about like aligning that vision. Like you said, casting that. You got a great team with you, obviously. Casting that vision to them so they're on board with you and bought into the mission. And then it's just about building from there, dude. So, man, you guys definitely got to follow Mike's journey. Mike, if someone wants to get in contact with you, they could do so how?
Yeah, just hit us up on Instagram at Wisconsoda, or on Facebook, Wisconsoda Pain. It's like main spot to find our company. Instagram, my socials, it's Mike Johnson. So yeah.
Love it, bro. Mike, I appreciate you, dude. Keep freaking rocking it. And everyone else, thank you for listening. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.
So thanks, man. Peace.
Appreciate you, dude.